Welcome everyone to the Healthy Kitchen Makeover. I'm super excited to be joining you today. So I'm Jen and I can't wait to hear where you are from. So as you're watching, I want you to comment if you're watching live or if you're watching on replay later today. Tell me that, live, replay, and also tell me where you're watching from. And don't worry, all you have to do is share what state you're watching from if you want to share that. So love to hear where you're from, love to say hello to all of you. So today, let's just dive right in. You know, many of us have health goals for the year. Maybe we call them resolutions, but I really believe that while we might have this big looming goal, we really need to break it down into much simpler steps that we can accomplish every single day so that you have the opportunity to actually make headway on those goals. So let's jump in. The first thing I think a lot of people struggle with, and even myself at times, is breakfast. So we can think about breakfast as one of those meals that, oh, we're just running out the door and we don't really have time for it. Or maybe we do more of the carb-focused breakfast and we just don't add a lot of protein, and then maybe around mid-morning, we're actually really hungry. And then we start grabbing for the candy and the snacks and things that we know we shouldn't really be eating that much of. So what I have is a solution for you. So when you're running out the door or you think you don't have enough time, this is a top favorite in our house, along with many other houses of my customers as well. This is called the ceramic egg cooker. So all you do is drop an egg, 2 eggs, however many you want, up to 4 at a time. But if it's just for you, I would definitely say that you could do 1 or 2. And then I add in like either ham or cooked turkey sausage. And then I do some vegetables and some cheese, and I pop it in my microwave for about 40 seconds. And guess what? I have an omelet, or I can just simply put it on an English muffin if I want to make it into a sandwich. And I can also use this for oatmeal. So this is a grab and go breakfast idea for you, for those of you that really have that goal of wanting to eat a healthy breakfast, wanting to make sure that you actually get enough protein so you're not chomping all morning long, right? So this is a great tool for that. Now, along with that, you need to have what I think every single day should have is a smoothie. And a smoothie is fantastic because you're going to get loaded amounts of fruits and vegetables, and you can add things to it to make it more protein dense or even more vegetable dense. So what I want to show you is my favorite product that I use every day. Well, I have a lot of favorite products, but this is the Deluxe Cooking Blender. Now, I did say cooking, and I'll get to that in a moment. But I use this every day for a quick and easy smoothie. It actually has a smoothie setting. So this launched just this last fall, and it has been a game changer in my kitchen because I can put it on the setting that I want to have, and it will quickly blend things up for me. So even smoothies, of course. Now, I had a previous blender that I could never get that spinach chopped fine enough to hide it from my family. But this pulverizes it and you don't even know it's there. So I'm going to turn that on in just a moment. But what to do to make these smoothies really just kind of have a boost is we have something called Enrichables that are brand new. And what I love about these is it's an opportunity for you to boost dishes that you already make and make them more nutritious. So you can see we have 2 options. We have Kale and Fiber, and then we have the Pea Protein. And what I love about them is that there's no added ingredients, no fillers, no flavors. It's just what it says. So the pea protein is 100% pea protein. It's got 10 grams of protein in it. You can add it to smoothies. You can even add it to pancakes. Maybe you have people in your family that just love all the, kind of the sweeter things at breakfast time. You could add that pea protein. And you like even to muffins, any of your doughs or batters, and you could have it have more protein to help have that staying power. Protein really is something that helps us stay fuller longer. And a lot of times we don't get enough at breakfast. We maybe have a little at lunch, but we tend to go a little overboard in the dinner time hour. What we need to have instead is actually a more consistent amount throughout the day, which helps us have that staying power, not feeling hungry all the time, but also able to, have that little muscle boost as well, because protein helps with muscle development, but also it helps with immune system and enhancing our healing and repair of tissues as well. So having that pea protein is essential, that you can add it right into your smoothie. Now, another thing you could do is add kale and fiber. And I have some people in my household that maybe don't like to eat a lot of kale. And you know what? I would be one of those people. But this is how I get my kale. This has 2 cups of freeze-dried kale and 8 grams of chicory root fiber. So it's fantastic to boost up that smoothie, or you can add it to your spaghetti sauce, you can add it to your chili, you can add it to your taco meat as you're making it on the stovetop, and no one will know that you actually have added a little boost of vegetables there for you. So welcome as you're joining. Be sure to say hello in the comments, share where you're from. I'm sharing some solutions to help you have that healthy kitchen makeover this new year. So this is our Enrichables line. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually add the pea protein into our smoothie. So in my smoothie every day, what I do is I add either pea protein or kale and fiber, depending on what I've got in there. And then I also add my fruits, and I oftentimes will add some extra vegetables in there too. And then some kind of juice or milk. It just kind of depends on what I have in the fridge. And then some yogurt. So I've got that in here. And our Deluxe Cooking Blender makes this so simple. Like, you're never going to have any type of a, oh my goodness, it's blowing up everywhere, because it won't even turn on unless you have the lid in place. So I've got the lid. All is good. I'm going to put that on. And now it's telling me, yep, you can actually turn the button. And we have this great smoothie setting that runs for 1 minute. And you can hear it beeping there. And it's going to just blenderize everything I put in there, including that pea protein. So that's an easy way. Now that was only 15 seconds. And the setting for that runs for 1 minute. And you can kind of decide if you want to stop it or not. That's totally fine. But what I love about the settings is that you can put the food in there and walk away and not feel like you have to babysit it at all. Now, the Deluxe Cooking Blender does a lot more than smoothies. And I'm sure many of you think, well, I have a blender, I can make smoothies. Yep, you probably can. But can you also do other things like what I'm going to show you in here? Number 1, can you make your own alternative milk? So this is actually a booklet that comes with over 60 recipes with the Deluxe Cooking Blender, and it includes all these different things. So this is the alternative milk setting. So there's actually a little setting that you turn it to, and you can make your own almond milk, cashew milk, rice milk, oat milk. So if those are things that you normally purchase, you can control the ingredients and even add flavor if you would like to, and make your own. So it's a really simple way to do that. Now, another thing my blender can do, the Deluxe Cooking Blender, can actually make your own nut butter. And this can do it in about 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So this is the grind setting you can see. So you can make your own peanut butter. A favorite in our house is just to use honey roasted peanuts, and that's it. No oils, no salt, nothing else. And you can also do cashew butter, almond butter. You can make a super seed butter where you're adding some chia and flax to whatever nut butter you want. And you can even also make sunflower seed butter. So you have all kinds of options, even if you can't have nuts. So that setting is a really simple thing to use. You can even make your own whole wheat flour out of wheat berries, your own hummus, and even your own roasted red pepper dip. Sign me up for that. Okay, and now let's move into what else it can do for you that actually allows you to cook. So let's move into lunch. Now, a lot of times, some of us struggle with, how can I get a healthy lunch that doesn't take much time to prepare? And rather than going through the drive-thru, let's ditch the drive-thru and actually have something healthy and fresh. So one more thing that, well, there's a lot more things that the Deluxe Cooking Blender can do, but another thing it can do is actually make homemade soup for you. So what I've done, this is actually another thing you can get with the blender, is you can get the freezer rack with the soup bowls. So this actually allows you to fill this up with 6 cups of soup, stick it in your freezer. It's not going to, jostle around because it's got this nice rack. And when you're ready, you simply take out one of the soups, and then you take it to work with you, and you just pop it in the microwave for a couple minutes. Now this is a batch of butternut squash soup that I made, and I used frozen cubed butternut squash that I had from my garden from this past summer. And I also added a little broth, some seasonings, an apple, and an onion. I didn't even cut up things really. I just dropped them all in, and in about 30 minutes, that's how long it took to actually cook that soup, blend it, and it is silky smooth. So it is fantastic. And so a whole bunch of other things come with the soup setting recipes. So you can see the soup setting, but you can actually do potato cheddar soup. You can do mushroom bisque, tomato basil soup. So if you'd like to get away from maybe purchased soups, this is a great way for you to do that. Here's that butternut squash soup. It is fantastic. You can even make a pumpkin seed granola to go with it. Broccoli cheddar soup as well. Now, what else can the blender do? You can make heated purees. So this is something where you can make your own marinara sauce, your own pizza sauce, your own cauliflower puree. So maybe you want to make like a dish that needs cauliflower, and that's something that we can interject more vegetables into rather than maybe something else that you might not want to use. So you can use this to actually make that puree for you. So here's a hidden veggie marinara sauce that you can actually make as well, including carrots and zucchini, and nobody knows. Now, the blender can also do another thing where it can actually make its own sauce. So this is actually a patented setting, and our blender has a heating element in it that allows it to actually temp the food that's in there and get it to the right temperature once it's, cooked. So there aren't any other blenders that can actually do that. So this is allowing, and we have the glass pitcher, so it can actually get up to a very high temperature. So the sauce setting, depending on what you're making, you can make your own gravy. You can make sausage gravy. You can make Alfredo sauce. You can make homemade hot chocolate, and it's fantastic. You use ingredients that you really want to have a part of your kitchen. And here is something that I really like too. If you like nachos, or you want to have like a baked potato bar, you can make this nacho cheese sauce, and it uses real cheese and some different vegetables and some milk and some seasonings, and it is fantastic. And then, of course, we talked about peanut butter, right? We got to have some jelly to go with it. Well, you can make a healthier alternative to jelly. You can make a low sugar jelly, or you can make a regular sugar jelly as well, but it's only 3 ingredients. It's the pectin, the sugar, and the fruit. So you can get creative with all kinds of things there. And of course, you can do like fruit sauces over your cakes. And then it does have the custom blend setting, so you can do all kinds of things like your frozen drinks. You can even make nice cream, which is frozen fruit with a little bit of either alternative milk or regular milk, depending on what you can have. And it actually is scoopable, just like you see in the picture. So that is our Deluxe Cooking Blender. You will get a lot of use out of it because there's so many different things it can do. So we talked a little about lunch, talk about ditching the drive-thru, right? So we talked about these soups that you can have at the ready. You're just gonna pop them out. Another thing that works really well is the salad cutting bowl. Now, this is something that I think really also adds to your day because you're getting a lot of great vegetables. You get some healthy sources of protein. You're gonna feel full because it's full of fiber. So let me explain how this works. This has some different pieces to it. You have the larger bowl underneath. Then you have this cutting bowl, which I actually have my food in right now. I have some lettuce, I have some spinach, I have some celery, I have some cucumbers, and they're all just chunks. You can do this all at once. You can even put a grilled chicken breast in there all at once. Tomatoes, carrots, whatever you normally like with your salad. Now in the top piece, you can see this green piece actually has some dividers. So I've got some cranberries in here. I've got some glazed walnuts in here. I could add some cheese in here if I wanted to. And then this little container here is for your dressing. And of course it comes with a fork and a spoon. And it comes with this knife that is essential for when you're actually ready to use it. So how this works is, so you take this to work perhaps, or if you want to just have it cut already before you go to work and don't want to take the knife to work, or just leave the knife at work, you could do that too. But how this works is that you're simply going to take off this green top, and you're going to flip it over because we want to use this base as our cutting board. And that's kind of the two-sidedness to it. It's a cutting board on one side and a divider on the other. So we're going to use this to flip this over, and we're going to take off the bowl. And what's awesome about this is that you simply have a guide to cut through all of your lettuce and your spinach and any other vegetables or fruits that you have in here. I love to put apples in here too. And you just go through and you cut each little line. It takes you just a few seconds to go through all the way. And then what happens once you get to the end here is you simply just turn this just about 90 degrees. And then you go back through it. And then you have this beautiful chopped salad that's all ready to go. You didn't have to get out multiple cutting boards or spend time chopping multiple things and taking more time. Instead, you can have this salad cutting bowl do it all for you. So simple and easy. Once you're finished, it's really easy. You just simply take off the top lid, put this base over the top, and then we're just going to flip it, just like you see that. And then you can see that everything is all cut up. So all my cucumber is cut up, my celery is cut up, my lettuce is cut up. It was just a giant chunk. So that's what I love about the salad cutting bowl. You can get it all done in the time that it took me to explain it to you. So that's another great opportunity for lunch. Now, another last but not least for lunch, if you're a person that likes to have a hot lunch, maybe including some pasta and some protein and maybe some vegetables, this is something that really works well for that. So this is called the microwave pasta cooker. And you simply put your pasta on the inside, and I've got a combination of whole wheat pasta and regular pasta because you can boost your fiber that way. You cover it with water up to about halfway. You pop this red lid on, which is made from silicone, and you pop the whole thing in the microwave with the cozy on because it makes it really easy to grab it and not burn your fingers. And then once you've got the water and once it's all cooked in 8 minutes, that's all it takes. You simply drain it by holding the top like this and draining it out. And then you're ready to stir in a sauce or vegetables or whatever you want to put in there. So the microwave pasta cooker with the cozy set is a great choice for lunch. So those are all things to help you ditch the drive-thru. Now, what do you do about dinner? You know, a lot of times we're thinking, oh, I really want to eat with my family more. I want to have healthy meals in the evening, but how do I actually make that happen in the time that I have, which isn't very much, right? Well, I'm with you because I'm a busy mom and I have 2 kids and they're in lots of things. And so this is the thing that I rely on the most. So I'm going to share that with you now. You know, one of the things that takes a lot of time when we're making a meal is actually the prep work of making the meal. And so one thing that helps me a lot is actually having the manual food processor. I can quickly chop an onion. So I've got an onion in here right now. And I can just chop it just like this. Like, should that even take 5 seconds? I don't think so. But then you have your onion all the way chopped. You can use this for celery. You can use it for all kinds of things. Peppers. You can make your own homemade guacamole in here, salsa. Anything that I need to chop, I put in here. And I actually have 2 of these in my kitchen because there's always one in use. You can make dips and sauces in here, but also chopping all those vegetables. And so this allows me to get it done fast and not sit and just one by one do the vegetables. And that takes a lot more time. So the manual food processor is something that really can help with that. Now, another thing to have on hand are some really good cutting mats, because if you're chopping, you want to make sure you have clean cutting mats. You're not like cross-contaminating with raw meat. So that's what I love about our set of 3 prep mats that we have, flexible cutting mats. You can actually cut some things on here and then take it over to the pan and pour it in. So they're flexible like that. They're also educational. So on here, you know, one of the things that we can struggle with at dinner time is portions. So this actually gives you like how much is a portion. So if you're looking at like, how much butter should I have? Well, just a thumb tip, a teaspoon. So it tells you that right there. Another thing that it educates you on is the type of knives that are good for different things. And then also there's some measurements there. So if you're cutting to a certain degree there. And then last but not least on this one, let's see if you can see that. You can actually, well, you can kind of see it, it's yellow. But it actually gives you like how to cut julienne, fine julienne, large dice, medium dice, and small dice. So educational, functional, all dishwasher safe. And this is a great tool to have in your kitchen because you'll pull them out and use them all the time like I do. Now, to really make the biggest impact on your meals in the evening and really speed them up by 70%, the tool you need to have is the quick cooker. The quick cooker is something that I have been using for the last year and a half after being totally against pressure cooking. My whole thing before this was I'm totally fine with slow cooking. I didn't think that pressure cooking was really that safe. I was really intimidated by it. But what I have found is that this thing is a lifesaver in my kitchen. Like I said, I'm a busy mom of 2 teenagers. We have a lot going on in the evenings. I can make a really great meal that I feel proud of putting on the table that's really healthy in minutes. And it doesn't take long at all to just throw it in. It's like one pot, no babysitting, easy cleanup. It's a 6-quart pot on the inside and comes with this little rack as well. So if you want to, like just a few days ago, I did a baked potato bar. And so I put my cup of water on the bottom, I set this inside, and then I put in like 5 large baked potatoes. Now my son is a teenager, so he eats a lot. But I did that and I set it for 14 minutes. If I were gonna do baked potatoes in the oven, that would take at least an hour, if not more. So you set it in here, I turned it to 14 minutes, it heated up for 3 or 5 minutes max, and then it started cooking. And once it was finished, it's done. So that's just one example of recent that I used. But it's a nice big pot. You can use it to even cook up a whole chicken in about 30 minutes. But this also comes with its own cooking guide, and you have the directions of what to do because you don't need to be intimidated. It actually tells you, like, what should I do first? Now, this is exactly what I did when I got it. I followed the instructions of doing some beans and then some eggs, and then I made salsa chicken lettuce wraps, and I was like, holy cow, this thing is actually really cool. And then I took a frozen pork tenderloin out of my freezer and put it in here with 1 cup of water and thought, okay, we'll see how this goes. And I set it for a 35-minute cook time. And I was amazed when it was finished cooking because it was totally fall apart tender. It had been cooking all day, but it hadn't been. And I've even had people that, are a little bit hesitant. So they actually, like I had a host that her husband was like, I don't think this pressure cooker is going to make it as good. So I'm going to do a slow cooker roast and you can do a quick cooker roast and we'll see what happens. And at the very end, what was great is that he decided that hers tasted better. So of course, the quick cooker saves the day again. So, after you get through those first few things, you can do all the different things in here. So you can actually make the beans and legumes. And so you can make black beans like from dry in about 30 minutes. Normally that's a whole overnight soaking procedure. And scratch that. You can save money, have less sodium, and make your own beans very quickly. You can also do all kinds of grain and rice. So if you want to do white rice, brown rice, jasmine rice, you want to do quinoa, steel cut oats. A lot of those things take a lot of time because they require you to babysit them at the stovetop, right? Or you put them in the microwave and they could boil over, so you just maybe give up on making them. Well, the quick cooker can really save the day again with that. You can also use it to cook all kinds of vegetables. What I love about pressure cooking is it actually helps your vegetables and all of your, like mostly vegetables that have this issue that when you put vegetables in a lot of water, they tend to lose some of their nutrients because it goes into the water. So in pressure cooking, though, you don't use a lot of liquid and nothing gets steamed off, like a slow cooker or even boiling or anything like that. So you're actually retaining more nutrients. So I mentioned those baked potatoes, but maybe you like to make broccoli and you like to have it crisp and bright green, but a little bit cooked. You set it for a 1-minute cook time. In the summer, I did sweet corn, and I set it for a 2-minute cook time, and it was fantastic and easy, and only 1 cup of water underneath. So instead of having that big pot of boiling water, lots of steam in the kitchen, you don't need that. You can just put it in the quick cooker. And then there's also the chart on meat and poultry, and this allows you to do all kinds of things like whether you want to do ground beef or beef roast, or you can do ribs. You can do, like I mentioned, the pork tenderloin, the pork shoulder, pork ribs. You can do a whole chicken. You can do parts of chicken. You can do chicken breasts, chicken thighs. You can even do turkey thighs, turkey legs, turkey breast. So it will do all of those things, and the chart actually shows you from frozen as well as from fresh. So it depends on, if you don't think about taking it out of the freezer, raise your hand. That's me too. And that's okay, because you can just keep going and throw it in there, because a lot of times that's what causes us to make different decisions. We get home and we're like, oh my goodness, I forgot to take out the chicken. Well, I better go grab a pizza, or, oh, let's just go through the drive-thru. Well, those don't necessarily contribute to your health goals, right? And they cost more money. And so this is a way for you to save that time. So this book also takes you through different recipes like brown rice pilaf, a root vegetable mash. You can even make your own homemade bread, which only takes 5 minutes, and then it has a proofing setting, which means rise. And so why that's important is because if you just let bread rise on your counter, it can get drafts, it can get dried out. Well, this will actually help protect that. And then also chicken teriyaki and rice. So you can double decker cook. So you saw that little rack at the bottom, so you can put your meat underneath, and then you can get one of our accessories, which is a ceramic pot, and you can put the rice on the top, so it cooks all at the same time, all in one pot. So you have lots of different options in here. Here's the risotto. There's a chicken parmesan pasta that literally cooks, like you set it for 6 minutes. It'll heat up for a few minutes, but this is a meal where if you only have 10 minutes, you make this one, and it tastes like you're eating at a restaurant. So love this. Carnitas, ribs, all the things that take a long time to cook, really shortened down. Homemade chili, beef stew, you can do that in about 25 minutes. You can do pot roast in about 40 to 55 minutes. You can do red lentil and spinach soup. You can do salmon. You can see it's a very versatile way of cooking. And what I have been doing with it is using it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times a week, because there's just so much you can do with the pressure cooker, and it can really help you save time in the kitchen as well. So that is how you can make that dinner come together really fast and really easy, and you make sure then you're getting your family around the table. So what's next? Here's what's next. So you have the opportunity to purchase anything that you've seen here. And I have a catalog that I'm going to be posting a link to, and you can flip through it and you can see all the different products that we have, and even specifically the ones that I shared with you today. And you can get, as a fun guest special this month, you can actually get our prep mats, the set of 3 of them, for free with an $80 purchase. So if you want to get the manual food processor and the salad cutting bowl and help yourself with prep and lunch, you could totally get these prep mats for free. So that would be a great way to do that. So that's our fun guest special. Now, if you think going through this video and you're like, oh my goodness, I want that Deluxe Cooking Blender, and I want that quick cooker, and I want the other tools as well. So that is when I want you to definitely consider hosting your own online party, which is basically a cooking class for you and your friends. Why would you want to do that? Well, let me tell you, you can get the Deluxe Cooking Blender as a host for 60% off. You could get the quick cooker as a host for 60% off, just as a thank you for sharing some time with your friends with Pampered Chef. So you have that option as well. I think it's a great option, and I do have 2 dates left for January, and you can get in on the double bonus rewards this month as well. So you actually get double free products. So maybe you had a lot of these other things on your list as well. Why not get them as a hostess? You can totally do that. So in the comments, I want you to actually just say, I want to grab a date, and I will definitely help you with that. And when you're purchasing too, I want you to know I'm going to be sharing the link to purchase right after this video as well. Now, another fun thing that you have the opportunity for is to actually do exactly what I'm doing. Now, if you're looking at this video and you're like, oh my goodness, I love Pampered Chef tools. I've always loved Pampered Chef tools. Or, you know what, I would love to have a little extra money in my life after this holiday season. Maybe you spent a little bit too much and you're like, oh, I'd like to have a little extra to cover some bills, pay off some debt this year. You know, maybe you have some big goals like that. You have the option of also doing what I'm doing and becoming a consultant. There are some really great reasons to do that. You know, number one, you get some really great products. You're the first to see everything. You get huge discounts on products. Number two, you get to enhance your own cooking skills because all these products are really fun to use. Number three, you can earn an income and you can do it from your house and you don't have to leave your house to do that depending on what your situation is. So there's lots of great reasons and even more than those 3 that I shared. But we have a really great special this month where you can actually, just this month, you can get this kit right here on the top for $129. And what that includes is the Deluxe Cooking Blender, which is normally $349. You can get that in the kit along with the prep mats, the citrus press, the smooth edge can opener, and 3 other tools, all for $129. This is like an 80% discount, and you try it for 30 days by hosting a couple parties, and you see what you think. And I would love to help you with that too. So I'm going to be posting a link to more information with that. And I want you to just comment too. Do you have a question about being a consultant? Maybe you're wondering, like, how do you actually get started? Well, you purchase a kit. That's one of the things. How much can you actually make? You know, that is up to you on what you want. Maybe you want a couple $100 extra a month. Maybe you want a couple extra $1,000 a month. You have the option of choosing, and I'd be happy to answer other questions as well. So post them in the comments, and you can learn more about my story as well with that. So with that, I want you guys to share what you enjoyed most about this video. I'm going to be sharing that link to purchase. I want you to say grab a date if you want to host your own party. And if you have questions about being a consultant, I want you to drop those, and I will definitely respond to those as well. So I hope you enjoyed this Healthy Kitchen Makeover, how you can do breakfast, lunch, and dinner in a healthy new way throughout the whole new year, that you will be able to help accomplish your health goals. So with that, thanks for watching, and I can't wait to hear from you, and I'll see you soon.